we say World Heritage, we mean something that it is either unique or important for history, important as a masterpiece, or important for the global ecosystem balance.
The most wonderful places on Earth, which are World Heritage sites. Whether you're passionate about unique coral formations in tropical waters, your quest is to understand ancient civilizations, or you're an avid traveler determined to satisfy your wanderlust, Friends of World Heritage provides a way to learn and explore more about the world around you.
I love Mexico. La comida, la cultura, la gente, el idioma. I've been to Mexico a few times before. But this time, even though it was a work trip, it was an amazing experience. I got the chance to spend some time with Mayan communities in the Siancán Reserve, a World Heritage Site in the Yucatan Peninsula. I also learned about the cenotes, these big pools of water that are connected to underground bodies of water, and how they're a source of life for the Mayan people. And I did the most unbelievable thing. I went scuba diving into a cenote 5 miles inland from the coast, navigated through the cave system without seeing the light of day, and came up in the Mesoamerican reef in the middle of the ocean. The coral reef in Mexico is part of the Mesoamerican coral reef. It is the second largest coral reef in the world after the Great Barrier Reef in Australia.
I've been to several World Heritage Sites, but I rarely strayed off the beaten path. I attended a conference in Egypt a long time ago, and I really like that part of the world. Its history, the culture. But I had never been to Jordan, and I always wanted to visit the half-carved city of Petra. But I wanted to do something different on this trip. So I took the road less traveled and finally saw the desert.
I thought this was going to be a typical family vacation, basking in the sun and laying out in the sand. But this turned out to be one of the most amazing experiences. My parents, sisters, and I visited the Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. This is where there are 2 of the most active volcanoes in the world. I couldn't believe how beautiful and exciting it was. It was so cool. My mom ended up working with this local group that fights invasive species. Since I speak Hawaiian, I was able to connect and exchange with the people from my grandfather's homeland. We exchanged in Hawaiian, connected in Hawaiian, and made such a difference.
The threats that we face, the World Heritage Site face, are very simply understandable if you look at how the world is developing.
One of the biggest challenges and growing challenges is tourism and what comes with it. From the fact that it generates an industry that's encroaching on the sites, but also it generates increased influx of people into the sites.
I think, in a way, tourism could also become a very important way of generating resources for the conservationists.
The World Heritage Alliance is a very interesting effort to bring the tourism industry and conservation interests together to make sure that these sites are well taken care of.
So organizations like ours work on a global scope to educate travelers, to educate governments, to think about policies that will transform tourism into a beneficial impact on a site. Yet we have to work with hotel and tour operators, with communities, with travelers, so that the specific sites are preserved.
Ils offrent aux gens ce qu'ils demandent, qui n'est pas seulement un moment de relax, un moment de vacances comme ça, mais aussi un moment d'étude, de compréhension du monde.
Read about your destination before you leave on your trip. Get responsible travel tips online.
Booking your next trip with a locally owned and operated tour operator not only benefits the local economy, but it gives you an insider's view at your viewer destination.
Share your commitment to World Heritage Sites by asking hotels and tour operators about their conservation practices.
World Heritage is our legacy from the past, what we live with today, and what we pass on to our children.
I'm already researching our next family trip. This time, we're gonna go to the Philippines, where I'm gonna learn a little Tagalog. Gusto kong makasama at makilala ang mga kababayan ko.
Travelers have an amazing power. We have the power to protect or destroy our common planet. Each of us can make a difference.
There is nothing in the world that a group of determined individuals cannot change. And in fact, this has always been the case.
Trying, we crying some and some are even dying. We all a part of this, even you. So be your higher self and to that stay true for me. That's evolutionary. We all a part of this holy water. You know it's better with a little love on evolution. Evolution. Jedi masters inside us, messiahs and prophets, oh each and every one. So find out what is your gift, call the drum a blackberry and uplift up for me. It's all evolutionary. Don't you feel it or do you feel that feeling? Come on child, let's go, she can dance. All that existence, so go on.